Alright guys, I'm back with another video for you lot. And this video, I'm going to be ranking the Riyadh season cards. All 9 of them that have happened so far. Obviously, a lot of them have been good. Like, I can't say any of them were bad, but we're going to be ranking them to see which one is the best. So yeah man, let's start man. So, starting off, we have Fury and Ngannou. The, what's the catchphrase of this card? Battle of the Baddest, that's what it was called. And you know what? This card was really good, man. The production of this card was really good. They flew out like all of the boxing legends. They had everyone there. That the production was like probably the best so far of any card because that was the first card, so they had to make it good. So I would say I would probably put it in A tier. So let's think about the actual card now. So things I remember from the card. You had the co-main event, which was Fabio Wardley versus David Adelaide. That was a really good fight. That was a really good fight. There was a lot of heavyweight fights on this card, so that already boosts the card up for me because you already know heavyweight fights are always the best fights for me. The main event, first of all, the main event I thought obviously everyone thought this was a joke. This was a joke. That's what everyone thought. An MMA fighter who had no boxing experience, and he knocked down Fury, arguably won. I thought he won. But just based off how the main event was and how shocked I was and everyone else, this puts it at A. If Fury had smoked Ngannou, I probably would have put this at B, even given the fact that the production was so good. But just the outcome of the main event makes me put it in A. I wouldn't put it in S tier because I don't know. I'm not sure. Like the card wasn't so good that I could put in S tier compared to the ones I'm gonna mention, like this one, Day of Reckoning. This card, immediate S tier, immediate S tier. And you know why? Because there was not a single fight you could skip on this card. Like this card was too stacked. This is like arguably for me the best Riyadh season card that's happened. You had AJ winning, you had Wilder Parker, you had Bivol fighting on this card. You had Daniel Dubois versus Jarrell Miller. That was a banging fight. You had Jai Apataya fighting on this card. You had Filip Hrgovic fighting on this card. You had Ajit Kabayel fighting on this card. None of these fights are skippable fights. All fights were so good. This is arguably the best card on Riyadh season for me. Like all fights delivered as well. All of the fights were good. Maybe except the Bivol fight. That was a bit boring. Bivol versus Lyndon Arthur. But all the other fights were so good, man. Like, I would definitely put this on S tier for me. It was easy, yeah. And I think following that, we had the AJ Ngannou card labeled as Knockout Chaos. This was for me like a bit of a weaker Riyadh season card. Probably put it C tier because the card wasn't as good as other Riyadh season cards like have shown to be. It was still good. Like Riyadh season cards are always good compared to like a standard card anywhere else. But this is probably the weakest card. One of the weaker ones, should I say. AJ Ngannou, that was like obviously a lot of people thought this was gonna be like a competitive fight, and then we realized the levels. Co-main was good. It was not the greatest fight. We had Zhile Zhang Parker. It wasn't great. It wasn't that great. Pretty low output fight. And then we also had, we had Nick Bull versus what's his name? Forgot. It was like a Mexican guy. I think they were fighting for the WBC title. I think at featherweight or super featherweight. Featherweight, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I think Nick Bull got robbed that fight, and I couldn't really name you the other fights on this card. I can't lie. It wasn't a great card, and the production also felt kind of weak for this card as well. Like the environment. Okay, let me talk about the environment. The environment, like the surrounding, the environment, the crowd, should I say, felt so dead on this card. When I was watching it live, it felt so dead. It looked like only the first couple of rows were filled, and everything else, all the back rows, everything else was empty. It looked so dead. It looked like a UFC Apex card. Like that's how dead it felt. The environment felt dead. I can't lie. It didn't feel good. But yeah, still a good card nonetheless, but probably one of the weaker ones. So I'll put it C tier. Next one was Fury Usyk 1, Ring of Fire. This is a tough one, I don't know. Like, I'll probably put it A tier. It's an A tier card. Because, let's think about it, right? The production for this card was amazing. You just have to see the main event. The production for the main event by itself puts it into A tier. It was so good. Yeah, the flipping main event by itself was really good. So I'm basing the cards off first of all by the production of the card, by the overall like how it felt for the watcher like me, and the quality of the fights. This is what I'm basing the quality of the cards for. And so I have to say the quality of the fights on this card were quite good. The co-main was Jayapataya Bradis. That was a war, but I didn't really tune into any of the other fights on this card. I can't lie. It was a bit of a weaker card as well, but the main event just made me forget about all of that because the main event was so good. Fight of the year for me. Like such a good fight, such a good fight. So yeah, that's an A tier card. It's an A tier card for me. And also like, should I say the what's it called? The promotion of this card was so good. I was seeing when I was going outside, I was seeing it on billboards. I was seeing it at my train stations. Promotion for this fight was so good as well. So it has to be A tier. Next one is 5v5. This was a good card, man. Um, ooh, I'd probably put it. You know what? You wouldn't expect it, but I might put it top of A tier. Top of A tier. Because I wouldn't put it S tier. But it's a tough one because I'm not sure. I wouldn't put it S tier because there was no actual pay-per-view stars or like proper stars that were on this card. But the quality of the fights and the people that were fighting were like so good. And obviously this card was actually supposed to be Better Be of Bivol 1 and then Better Be of pulled out because of the injury, because of the knee injury. But I think that's a good thing. I'm kind of glad Better Be of like got that. No, I'm glad the Better Be of Bivol 1 fight did not happen on this card because I feel like the 5v5 was so good that it would make like you know what I mean? Like that fight deserves a card by itself, and it did at the end of the day. But that's not what I'm talking about. 5v5 was really good. You had Zhang Wilder. That's kind of when we find out Wilder was finished. Wasn't a great fight. I'm not gonna lie. You had Hamza Shiraz versus Amma Williams. That was a really good fight. Back and forth until at the end, Hamza finished him off. You had Nick Paul, Ray Ford. I scored it for Ray Ford, I can't lie, but very close fight. You had Daniel Dubois, Philip Hergovich. That was a good fight. That was a good fight. For me, any heavyweight fight's always going to be good. So yeah, I put it A tier just based on that. Production was pretty good. The overall like promotion of this card was really good as well for me. A tier for me. A tier for me. Next card is Crawford Madrimov. You know what? I'd probably put it B tier. Probably B tier. First of all, I would say the location of this card was pretty. Like, I don't know why they chose LA as the location of this card, given that your main event was Crawford. LA is where, like, the Hispanics and Mexicans are. If you had, like, a guy, like, a Mexican fighter as your main event, that would make sense putting in LA. Crawford, like, I don't know why you put Crawford in the LA. I think it was BMO Stadium. I think they could have done it in his hometown, to be honest, but I think they were just trying to go all out big at a stadium, doing a stadium show. But the overall quality of the card was quite good, to be fair. In my opinion, this is a very underrated card. Like, this was actually a very stacked card when we look back at it, because you had David Morrell in this card, you had Andy Cruz on this card, you had El Rayo on this card, you had Pitbull on this card, you had Andy Ruiz and Jarrell Miller on this card, and you had Crawford on this card. All of these fighters I'd watch. I'd watch their fights if they were main events. I'd watch them all. It was a really good card. Quality of the fights were really good. Yeah, like I put these beer tier because I'd say the promotion wasn't the best for this card. The production was decent. It was okay. Yeah, I would say I think B tier is pretty sensible for a card like this. Next one, Better Be of Bivol 1. This one was a good card, man. But let's think about it. I would also put this maybe top of B tier. Top of B tier. I don't know. That's a tough one, man. This was a really good card when I think about it. Should I put it up? Yeah, I'll put it A tier. A tier, A tier. Again, quality of the fights. All of the fights were pretty good. Shakur was pulled off this card because of his injury. But the quality of, you had Chris Eubank on this card. You had obviously the main event. You had Ben Whittaker on this card. Who else did you have? You know what? I must be forgetting some fights, but those were the main fights I remember. And all them fights were good. Obviously, having a guy like Chris Eubank Jr. on the card obviously boosts the card. He's a draw. Ben Whittaker, obviously he had that controversial. I don't know what that was, but I think the quality of the fights were good. The card itself, like the fights on the card, like how they were good. The promotion was meh, and the production was quite good as well. Yeah, production was very good. The production was very good. So yeah, A tier for me. Probably bottom of A tier. Fury Usyk 2. A tier, A tier. So I'll say this. First of all, when the full card was released, I think a lot of people were disappointed because of it didn't look good at all. Like it was a lot of domestic fights. It wasn't that good at all. But I think when it came to Fight Night and the fights happened, they really delivered. All the fights were good, man. Like should I say the Johnny Fisher Dave Allen fight was really very good. The Moses Atoma fight was very good. He knocked him out. Knocked out what's his name? I forgot his name. I can't lie. Dempsey McKean, that's his name. That was a very good fight. Fury Usyk 2, another good fight. I'd say the first one was better, but still a good fight. The quality of the fights is what boosts it for me. The actual card itself was, like, when revealed, was pretty bad, but the quality of the fights and how the fights went boost the card up for me. The promotion was good. The production was also good as well. So yeah, it's an A tier card, but not top of A tier, probably towards the bottom of A tier. And to end off, the last Riyadh season card that's happened so far was this month, like a week ago, or 2 weeks, I think it's a week ago, is Better Be a Bivol 2. This is S tier. Top of S tier or bottom? I'm not sure. Is it better than Day of Reckoning? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it is. I'm going to put it... Nah, I think Day of Reckoning for me is the best. Yeah. No explanation needed. When the card was revealed, every fight is probably a main event fight, let's be real. All of the fights were good. All of the fights delivered on Fight Night. The production was good. Promotion was very good as well. And yeah, the fights delivered, they were all good. I'd say all the fights had good decisions, except maybe one, the Hamza Shiraz fight. But that's not what this is about. The quality of the card was good overall. But I would say the Day of Reckoning card was better. So I'd probably put Day of Reckoning above that. But yeah, them two, Better Be a Bivol 2 and Day of Reckoning card, they are the best two cards of Riyadh season for me. No doubt. No doubt. Both stacked cards and honestly, probably one of the best... these two cards are probably one of the best cards in boxing history, in my opinion. Like, I don't know anything else that can top those two cards. But yeah, man. But tell me what you guys think about like this tier list in the comments. Tell me if you agree or disagree. Tell me where I went wrong or where you agree with me. And tell me, like, I'll put the link of the tier list in the description below so you can complete it. And yeah, man. Hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like, share, and comment, man. In a bit.